discussion. Okay. Almost, I think you ask a question. Looks like you're ready to ask question.
How did you know, Kapu?
I just guess.
Today, during the meditation, the Vipassana discussion we had, it just seemed like that deeper that we go into meditation, it becomes less passive. It seems like it becomes more, I wouldn't say aggressive, but it seems more active than passive. It seems like in the shamatha, it seems very calming, but once we hit the Vipassana, there's a lot going on.
Oh, you mean in Vipassana, lots going on?
Yes, it seems like there's much more going on, and the foundation, the shamatha, and also it seems like we need to have a very strong base as far as the shamatha practice to have a successful Vipassana practice.
Yes.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was realizing, that everything, all the stages of meditation are interdependent of each other.
Yes.
So,
Without one is other is cannot be successful, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Have to create everything together.
Yes. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very thorough explanation that you gave this afternoon. Took a lot of notes, and that's what it seems like. The conclusion I came up with, that is seems like deeper we go, the less passive it is, more work it requires. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So everyone read this today teaching, read again, listening again, or not yet? How about measure and roar? So you read?
Yes.
We read it again. That doesn't mean we understand it.
Well, then we remember it all.
This got a little deeper than we're usually than your normal teachings.
Shamat Vipassana.
Vipassana
Actually,
more difficult.
Not that really. Vipassana is not difficult, but just too easy. That's why we can recognize, cannot recognize, can't recognize. Too easy. So we create so much complicated, or and so we don't recognize. So simple, easy ones we forget. Yeah. 100,000 times postation is very hard actually. Yeah, so you chant 100,000 Vajrasattva mantra is more harder. But people think this Vipassana meditation is harder than 100,000 times postation. Why is that? Because it's so simple. That's why we cannot stay in that nature. It's no habituate.
I think it is harder because we have never really worked with our minds so intensely.
Yes.
So we're not used to that, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So not used to that. That's why problem is.
It's a problem to stay with mind.
Yeah, it's people meditators are like so easy for them. So this morning just we share the teaching, like see this is the just used to someone already habituate, is they just always be that nature. Someone not yet habituate is like worldly, things and relative activities, and mind follow the thoughts. It's just naturally go that direction. So that's why it's like ordinary beings and practitioners differences. Yeah.
Well, the other thing also that happens, that you really have to put a lot of time into this in order to really advance. So then,
Yes.
we have to adjust all our schedule and create the time, and that is not that easy.
Yes. So we have to put more effort to
Yeah.
get into that one. But someone already into that, there's no need to effort. So always in the meditation. So I've been with the Gachin Rinpoche. He's no need to effort. Just his effort is natural. He is always just in the like meditation. Like think about it, like first prayer. Just naturally, always like wherever he be, naturally the prayers like that. His practice meditation is just always like normal ready there. But regular people have to create and put more effort. And someone already practitioner realizes just always be in the nature. Just meditation is like normal, and the mind naturally go there. Is going to do some other worldly things more harder, and have to put effort. And then they also like minds like have to do that, but recognize it's not important, and it's temporary things. But they have to do that. These meditators, because followed by the work with the ordinary beings, right? So that's why we have to think about this. Like practitioners, we bring into the worldly place. Actually, they are in the natural state. We bring them into our modern mind to, discussion, recognize our thoughts, opinions, feelings, and discussion with them. Actually, their minds another state, and they don't have this ordinary mind and feelings, thoughts. So then we don't recognize their feelings. They recognize our feelings, but they don't really think it's like important. But there's no choice. Like ordinary being perceptions are so strong, so they have to listening to us. So that's the reason. Chandrakirti. He said like they have to. All these realizers have to listening to worldly people what they say. Even they are not exist, but we have to listening to their, because there's a modern mind, like their perceptions that I is exist. Yes, they have to say yes, I is exist. Or they say I have strong feeling. I thought this. Yeah, you have this thought. Yeah, I agree with you. Have to say that. No choice. Actually, and their own perception, they're not really exist. That our perception is ordinary beings, like thoughts, perceptions. For them, it's they no exist for them, but they have to agree with us. There's no choice, yeah. So that's I share with you the story last time, and Ayan Deva, he shared the story for us, like Cain. So he have to drink poison water because he have to be crazy. He have to be crazy with the other his subject and his people. Otherwise, they don't listening to him. So they say he's crazy. He said they are crazy. Then, of course, like majority is crazy. So if they wanted to beat them, so he have to also drink the water and they have to crazy them with them together. So that's thing about our always whatever we thought is like dualistic, and ordinary mind means whatever we say, thought, thinking, and decision is incorrect. But we don't accept that because our selfish or fixation is so strong. We don't accept Do you agree or no? Yeah, if you listening this Mayamika teachings, then you can accept.
I think we can accept it on an intellectual level. It's just
Yeah.
constant work to integrate it into our being, because you can see that, oh yeah, okay, but it
Yes.
still keeps arising up and up and up again.
Yes. So if you can accept intellectually, that means you understanding Dharma, but then we have to put effort, practice, create more habituate. So that's great. You know, you accept intellectually. Usually, even people don't, of course, like not listening to Dharma teachings and who don't have any teachings, they don't accept even intellectually. Yeah. So you accept intellectually. That means like that is you listening teachings result benefit. That's why Buddha says first listening teaching, then cultivate. We have to think about again, and then we into the meditate. So tonight, have anyone has questions or no questions?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out where is how should I best spend my time. You know, I do a lot of reading. I do, you know, I can meditate. I can do 100,000 or something. I don't know which way to go.
Everything is good to do because just when first you have to know all this different. Then secondly, you can spend like, oh, I wanted to do chant mantra, then chant mantra. Or I wanted to meditate like, you know, shamatha, then focus with shamatha. We have to create everything together. So which is like your fear is like you want to do. That is great to do. Yeah. So maybe you more focus like Vipassana and the Shamatha and the Vipassana.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so that really helps your mind. And then Vipassana is like, you know, actually essence of the teaching. So when you meditate Vipassana, then also same time the, you know, love, compassion also arise. Like I already talked this morning. Love, compassion, pure, actually unconditional love, compassion arise from the meditated Vipassana. So people who don't know how to meditate Vipassana, then we have to share the conditional love and the compassion practice. And who know the Vipassana meditation, then we can share, you know, they meditate, but it's usually, you know, this love, compassion is arise to others unconditionally. So then that time you meditate love, meditate compassion, create bodhicitta, then go back into Vipassana, resting mind, non-conceptual state. And then when you finish, dedication for all others. And the beginning, you know, you just a little bit cultivate four thoughts meditation into Vipassana. So that's also possible. Yeah.
Kempo,
Yes.
could you say what more about the difference between cutting through thoughts, you know, that you do in the early stages, and later on, if you're doing Mahamudra, when you just let things arise and cease on their own? Like, what exactly is the difference?
The first, like, we of course like stop the thoughts. the first beginners try to stop the thought, rejecting thought. Then second level, let arise thoughts, no rejecting, but don't follow the thoughts. Just recognize, let be, liberate, like just let go. No accepting, no rejecting. Therefore, we thoughts arise, but not rejecting. Just we recognize thoughts arise. Then don't accept it. Don't follow the thought. Just go back to meditate, rest in mind. That is the second level. The third level is when thoughts, emotion arise. So of course, let no rejecting, let arise, and then practitioners watch the thoughts and the emotions. So kind of they can play with these thoughts and emotions. They make 100% separate from their, thoughts, emotions from them. They watch the thoughts and the emotions. They're seeing the thoughts, emotions like rootless, groundless, like emptiness. Seeing that, then that's thoughts, emotions naturally liberating. That is called thoughts, emotions transform to the Dharmakaya. Yeah. So that is like become thoughts, emotions, causes of wisdom. Thoughts, emotions, causes of wisdom. And you have a lot more thoughts, emotions you can liberating and transform to the Dharmakaya. So that is like highest level these practitioners does. And thoughts, emotions good for them. And they create more wisdom and transform to the Dharmakaya. So beginners, of course, thought, emotions, thought and emotion not good. So that's why we try to stop them, not arise. And then second level, just thoughts, emotion, whatever they arise, just let go. Don't follow that, no rejecting, no accepting, just go back to meditate. They don't really transform into the Dharmakaya, but just let go, let it go. Yeah, the highest level, Mahamudra, is the same as in this Vipassana, non-conceptual. It's just same thing. Sometimes using different words, introducing. Main point is no difference. So whatever thoughts, emotion arise, they all is transformed into the Dharmakaya nature. So if you cannot transform, then thoughts, emotions cannot be Dharmakaya. It's thoughts, emotions always negative. If you can transform, then thoughts, emotions not negative. It's causes of wisdom. So that is a depending individual level practitioners. So beginner practitioners, so like some teachers, like practitioners, not recommend to watch the thoughts and the emotions. Beginners, because like just stop the thought, emotion. That is the beginners better to do. Then second level is like thought, emotion comes, just recognize and go back to resting mind. Recognize, oh, I have thoughts, emotions, don't follow them. Go back to nature state and non-conceptual meditate. So then high practitioners, like, can be with the thoughts, emotions, great for them. The thoughts, emotions is like, special object, a treasure for them. Because they can use that and increasing their own practice. More deeper level, more, strong, create. So that's your question?
Yes, thank you.
So do you get an answer or no?
Yes, it's really nice to hear it all together. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay,
Yeah, so our beginners like really cannot watch the thoughts, emotions, really hard. Some teachers like recommend don't play with the emotion thoughts. Just stop the thoughts, emotions, stop them. If you cannot rejecting, then just let it go, let it go. Okay. Yes, who else? Karen?
What are those 4 kayas? During the empowerment, medicine Buddha empowerment, he said, Gerchen Rinpoche said there's 4 seeds of kayas that are planted every time you have empowerment. Do you remember?
4 kaya is just like how do you recognize? Like I already told last week, or some other terms like teachings like outer level, inner level, secret level. These 4 kayas like recognize different levels. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So different levels. So then the highest level 4 kaya is in within on your mind has 4 kayas. So our mind is right now. Our mind is ground. It's called ground. And then when you practice, it's a path. When you become enlightened, it's called result. So ground, result is actually same, no difference. The path makes reuniting, like kind of reuniting, and like kind of like you recognize ground and the result is inseparable. Like path makes like recognize inseparable. So that was like your mind. In right now, our mind is ground. So we put seeds, recognizing result. So seeds is like, this 4 kayas seeds planting our mind. And when result is like actually when ripening, on the path is like waking the, the growing the seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means actually, whatever we reserve is in the ground. Right now we have these 4 kayas. But we don't recognize, we have to clarify this is on the path. Then result arise, what we have in the ground that is clearly recognized. So that means your mind has all these 4 kayas, and empowerment put in the seed and recognize that. Empowerment introducing, right now we have these 4 kaya natures put in the seeds and purify karma on the path, then result when it's enlightenment, this 4 kaya is ripening. So when you meditate, like today we're talking about the Vipassana, you don't have to think about, I'm going to create 4 kayas. So you are staying in the non-conceptual meditation, then 4 kaya is in there, inseparably. The Dharma kaya is no thought. When you meditate, no thought is Dharma kaya. Then Sambhona kaya is no thought. Your mind is become peace and joy. So that is Sambhona kaya. And you recognize that nature is nature. You recognize that nature with awareness. Using your awareness, you recognize your own nature, your blessing, and also with emptiness, you recognize. So that awareness is called Namanakaya. So that nature is being with us on beginningless time. That is the 4th kaya. So actually this 4 kaya is inseparable. It's just called different names. Like actually we share already in this, stage of meditation. Your mind nature is empty, clear, inseparable. It's always there, innately being with us on beginningless time. Actually, that means all the 4 kaya is there.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that is called secret level 4 kayas. Hidden with us.
Secrets are good.
Yeah. Okay.
Temple, I have a question.
Yes, please.
when you were saying about when we feel lazy and sleepy and we cannot do the samatha, and I always meditation because the laziness and that really want to fall asleep, and it was my difficulty for the very beginning, really difficult. Like I can just like sleep full for 5 or 6 or the whole day sitting, even 10 hours of sitting. I just when the teacher asked us to lock our teeth, pinch our ear, pinch our skin, and even pull our hair, nothing worked. Nothing worked for me.
So you have more sleepy, yeah?
Just sleep, and just sleep through the whole retreat for 7 days. And
wow.
At the end, the teacher said that just get up and kneel down and just kneel. And I kneel for 3 hours, but I still couldn't conquer my sleepiness. And I was just really hard. And today, but later when I came to United States, when I practiced, and the teacher in the Western world was much kinder and less strict. So some teacher just told me, go to sleep if you really cannot. If you try really every method, then just go to sleep. And so I let myself sleep for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and then the rest of the day I was able to meditate. So I was really happy.
That's great. You can do, yeah. So when you get sleepy, you sleep and wake up, then meditate. That's better.
Yeah,
that's good to do. Yeah.
But today you give a suggestion, which I really never, because I don't practice Tibetan meditation, and I don't know Tibetan meditation that well. But I love Kaching Rinpoche. I went to the retreat with him and went to the Yamataka. I just love him. But I know nothing about deity or Yidam deity. But today you said that if we are lazy or we want to sleep, Yidam deity meditation is very good. And I really delighted to hear it, but I know nothing about Yidam deity meditation. So I just want to ask.
Then you can use intellectual is good for the people who has a more sleepy mind. Intellectual is great. Then second is next week. Actually tomorrow we're going to go into the generation stage. That's also good for the who's sleepy fogginess. So generation stage is good for them. Who has a monkey mind?
Generation?
Is tomorrow is coming teaching.
Okay. So I don't have to worry about Yidam deity if I know nothing about it.
So the Vipassana is good for shamatha meditation is good for who has a monkey mind.
Okay.
Generation stage is good for who has fogginess, sadness, sleepy, and the mind is drawn. So then ignorance. So who has a strong obscurations, then good to practice generation stage.
So generation stage is not Vipassana, isn't it?
So it's a different meditation. Tomorrow is coming.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any more time for question or discussion? Or should I wait till tomorrow?
So you have a question?
Well,
you can ask question, yes.
It's sort of a question, but sort of a comment too. And I realize this because this was actually happening to me today. But sometimes there are things that are going on internally or externally that kind of disable our ability to function in these manners. And I'll just use myself as an example. During this afternoon's teaching, I was getting very foggy, and I know we're talking about teaching versus meditation, but we're supposed to stay, alert and keep our minds clear when we're learning too. But I kept thinking, like, why am I getting so foggy? Why am I getting sleepy? You know, I slept fine last night. I thought, well, no, it's nothing to do with Kempo. He's not like a boring or dry teacher. So it's nothing to do with this. So I had to make my mind think to figure out the answer. And the answer was that yesterday my doctor told me that I had to take my allergy medicine in the morning instead of at night. So when I take that allergy medicines, usually at night, it makes me sleepy and I go to sleep. So it was like, okay, I figured out now why I'm so tired. It was actually the medication that made me tired, but it made me think about another subject. And I wondered, like, there's a lot of people on this earth and in this world that don't have the mental capacity for one reason or another to be able to process all this. And I wonder, you know, we all have Buddha nature, but how would you like say if somebody wanted to learn Buddhism and study, if they didn't have, like, because of a birth defect or something like that, they did not have the ability to do it, you know, how would you approach that subject? And then I even started wondering, are there any of these, you know, great gurus or teachers or masters that were maybe blind or deaf or, you know, had some kind of physical disability? And I think it's maybe a little more into Hinduism instead, but I used to hear about these like yogis who were like, they would say they were bent in more than one place, meaning like they had physical disabilities. But I also know that like the Brahmins in India were not to touch anybody who had any type of thing that they determined was a physical defect or a mental defect. So are there some people that just cannot learn this? I mean, that because of either any number of conditions, like I said, it could be they're born that way, it could be something that happens to them that diminishes their capacity to do it. How would they then go about even trying, or can they?
So, your question or your comment?
Both.
So, questions really long. I really didn't get the like main point. Anyone can give me some short way?
Yeah, I'd like to offer a story. Lisa, I watched a video recently, and it was a Western Lama telling a story about I guess it was a monk in the time of a Buddha who had mental disability, and so his kind of custom instruction from the Buddha was to just his job was to sweep the temple, and the Buddha instructed him to, when he swept the temple, just sweep the temple, and he actually achieved Buddhahood in a single lifetime just by sweeping.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I'd love to see that because everybody knows how much I love to sweep and vacuum and clean floors, but thank you so much for sharing that. But I've just wondered, like, if you're born into the world or an outlying circumstance doesn't allow you to function as most of us function here, how can you become a Buddhist or how can you practice? But you just answered that, so thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the conditions of the precious human life is to have the mental faculties, to have the full, 18 conditions of the full precious human life. But in this monk's case, he was mentally disabled and achieved perfect Buddhahood. So there's something for everyone, I think.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing.
No worries.
And if Kempo, if you see me falling asleep tomorrow, you know it's because I had to take my allergy medicine in the morning. But it's only for a week. Only
take
for a
coffee
week.
too.
No, I don't drink coffee.
I see.
Nope.
I didn't see you are sleeping. You always like waking up.
Okay,
clearly.
no coffee for me. I don't drink. No.
I see. Okay, so that's good. And then now we go to meditate then. Thank you, Lisa. So you're sharing your thoughts, whatever you have in your mind, just directly. That's great. Okay, so now we're going to meditate together. Ready, everyone? Yeah. We go to meditate. Yeah. Everyone ready? So no any need to guide. Already told the Lord. Today, last week, before weeks, shamatha vipassana. So meditate shamatha vipassana. First into shamatha a little bit, then go into vipassana. So shamatha is focusing object breathe, and vipassana go into the rest state mind. Don't go to use analytical. Okay, analytical is we already done. That is analytical. We just another 30 minutes. We did discussion. So that is a part of analytical meditation. So now you just focus with the breath or object, and then after that go into the non-conceptual rest state mind. Thank you. mani beme ho, 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 mani beme ho. Mani beme ho, 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 mani beme ho. Did you catch it? Marilyn, can you share the dedication on the screen? We're going to chant the English. Michelle and the roar, please chant the dedication.
Okay, Khenpo, just give us a second.
It's coming into the screen.
We have
We
it
have
here.
it.
Here also.
Yeah, everyone have a. Marilyn, can you put in the screenshot? Yeah. So that helps for everyone has, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Emaho. In the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion. On the left is Vajrapani, Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful pure land of Dewachen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teyata pensadriya awa kolanaya soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind. Where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies' confusion, may all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manrushi, the warrior, realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Trikumpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, Roy, Major. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
Thank you,
East
Khenpo.
Coast time.
Thanks, Khenpo.
Thank you. Thank you,
If you
Khenpo.
like to meditate, come to 9 o'clock. If you want to practice, 9:40. If you like to teaching, 11 o'clock. So many choice you have tomorrow.
Wonderful.
We could do it. No, we're not going to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.